Hello everyone, how are we doing on this Friday? Welcome back to the podcast. I feel like it's been ages since we've had an episode between MSI and obviously Fnatic's short run into group stage, but happy to be back. Welcome back to Inside Fnatic's Brush. I am your host, Matt Scott, as usual, here to give you a little pre-summer split edition of the podcast where we will be going over the usual rankings, changes that happened during the off season, personal expectations for Fnatic, especially with their recent changes, and a few predictions to top it off for the first week starting tomorrow. Thank you for joining me, everyone. I've seen you guys already in the chat. How you doing? How you doing? Welcome back. Welcome back. Let's jump into it and have a look at some of the changes. So there's actually been quite some few changes that have surprised me. I'd say during this off season. One of them, obviously, being the Fnatic Koi swap between Advie and Trimby. That was mentioned in a previous episode, but I'll bring it back here. I'm doing fine, Asafi. Thank you for asking. So, very quickly, we've had Trimby, who apparently wasn't necessarily on the same page as the rest of the team, requested to leave, and that gave an opportunity for Fnatic to swap with Advien, which I think was a bit of a steal from Fnatic on that one. But yeah, that was obviously a surprising one. The less surprising ones were obviously Team Heretics. Team Heretics, who have been really struggling. Two splits in a row. I mean, they did come into the season with, I will say, a peculiar roster. I don't think anyone was expecting them to do crazy things. And while they somewhat started well in winter, in spring they completely collapsed, and I think there was a lot of debate on who needed to leave, what lanes needed to be changed. A lot of discussion, I think, around Evi, who I'd say for a large part of the audience, they saw him as the biggest weak link of the roster, but surprisingly enough, they decided to keep him. Instead, changing Jackseptra, which I thought was quite surprising, personally. Well, Jackseptra didn't have the greatest of seasons. I think he was far from being the worst player on the team. The thing is, Flackett has been having a pretty solid season in the LVP. So, when you have this kind of I was gonna say hot prospect, Flackhead's been in the LEC, but when the guy is performing at his best, you definitely want to bring him to the main roster straight away. So it makes sense. It's a bit sad for Jackseptra because a lot of eyes were on him at the beginning of the season, and he didn't perform as well as expected. Maybe if summer split goes well for him, if he makes a run at the EMEA Masters, but might be a bit complicated for him to get back into the LEC. But we'll see. But yeah, so Flackett comes back to the LEC through Team Heretics. VTO now who left Excel. Now Excel has been under a lot of has been in hot water because there's been a lot of reports on them mismanaging their players, mistreating them, abusing, contracts and such. And VTO, there's this whole discussion about his mental health, where we had different, echoes depending on who you're talking to. VTO saying that he was rather fine, Excel saying that they were struggling with his mental health and the team and making it all work together. At the end of the day, he still ends up transferring to Team Heretics as Abadage, who was on the bench and in Excel, takes his spot for good this time, which I think we all kind of expected. You don't bring a player of the caliber of Abadage just to have him sit on the bench, So, yeah. You have Team Heretics changing their bot lane, mid lane. Excel sort of confirming Abadage in the mid lane, removing Xerxes and bringing in Peach. So Peach, for those who don't know, was playing, a Korean player, was playing for Unicorns of Love. A bit hard to evaluate because Unicorns of Love are probably one of the best teams within their region and have constantly, won it. And, after checking some of Peach's individual stats, he looks pretty decent. He's ahead in, XP, golds. It feels like he plays a lot of, frontline tanky champions. So maybe a bit more of a supportive style for Excel. Will he allow to enable lanes like Patrick and VTO? Not too sure. But, overall, looking at those changes, I mean, obviously there's going to be some bias here, but in my opinion, I think Fnatic definitely has gotten the better end here. Trimby, great prospect, great player. I mentioned it back then that I was hoping that maybe we'd get Trimby at the beginning of 2023. Very happy he joins finally the team. Noah finally bringing back a rookie, bringing back a Korean. It's looking super exciting in my opinion, and yeah, very excited for them. Team Heretics definitely, had some interesting changes. Still, little question mark around Evi on why they didn't try to change the top lane, but I think it's definitely an upgrade over Ruby and Jack in his current form to bring in VTO and Flackhead. Now, big question is, how is VTO going to perform? Is he still going to have, this approach where he's very hard on himself, where he lets himself get brought down? Not too sure. If you go 0-3 in the first week, just move on to the next season. I mean, I'd be very, very, very surprised if we go 0-3 in the first week. Still don't think it would be a reason to move on to the next season, but it would be very weird that the level of scrims that is being reported really don't translate to that degree, I mean, anything can happen, obviously, but just saying. But yeah, quickly, Koi bringing in Advien. It's hard to say because a lot of people are critiquing the move, saying it's crazy to lose Trimby. But would you actually want to keep a player that doesn't get along with the other team instead of trying a swap and, bring in a different mood, different perspective, someone who gets along, who might bring something else to the team? So we'll see. We'll see how Adrian fits. We'll see what he really brings. Beard check. Beard on point today. You get a pass. Thank you. My beard is not on point. It is super scruffy. I actually need to trim it a bit, but thank you. I'll I appreciate the beard check. But yeah, no, it's not good. And it just gets hidden by the front of my chin, but underneath it's all over the place. So I'll just keep it that angle, so there's no spoilers. What was I saying? Oh yeah. As for Excel, this one's a hard one. Because I'm not sure how well Peach is gonna fare in the LEC. I haven't watched him enough in the ARLs to form an opinion. I think Abadagi is good. How good is he gonna be is another question. I'm not sure. They can come back and win it all. Mad was top 8 in regular season, just to lose within 17 minutes at MSI. I mean, that's a whole other question. Is that, you know, if we make it to Worlds, that's a massive achievement in itself, because it means that I think to make it to Worlds, we'd have to win Summer Split. So, you know, if we lose within 17 minutes at MSI, that would be like us losing at 17 minutes at Worlds. At least we make it to Worlds. So, you know, we will have come from very, very far if we actually make it to Worlds. So, you know, that's the kind of perspective you need to have. It's you know, it's something I would take at this stage. So, yeah, I mean, again, if we're already discussing like rankings and things like this, just making top 8 with this new roster, I don't think it should be an issue, really. You know, yeah, that's kind of, you know, all of it in terms of the changes. Will it really help those teams, you know, get higher in the rankings? Apart from Fnatic, not too sure. You know, I still think Excel Heretics probably gonna fight for 8th, 9th. Koi, they might make it, but you know, might be around 6th, 7th position. So yeah, speaking of which, let's do a little tier list, guys. Let's do a little tier list. Starting with Fnatic. Fnatic, you know, I'm feeling good about them this season. Still gonna err on the side of caution and not get too hyphy and put them on S tier, but definitely think that we're having a massive upgrade here. Echoes of the team sound amazing. So yeah, sounds very good to me. Very solid A tier. G2, might put G2 in S tier just because I feel like they had somewhat of a solid MSI, more or less. They managed to take games from Eastern teams, which, you know, seeing how dominant they were this tournament, I think is you know, something good. As well as we're probably going into a very, very heavy bot lane meta with the recent changes. Players like Hansama and Mickey, you know, with the Melio coming in, the Yumis and other enchanters, might be a very strong bot lane to face here. So yeah, S tier, following their MSI performance. Astralis hasn't made any changes. They had a very decent spring split. Now the question is, will they perform as well going into summer? Because it's a question of, was this a one-time thing and they managed to find their groove, and now, you know, summer's different, meta is different. They also have, I'd say, a strong bot lane. You know, Kobe has really been one of the top ADCs last split. So I'll put them on B tier. I'll put them on B tier because I feel like competition is a bit stronger this year, this split. So I'll put them here. They'll probably end at the same spot, I think. They'll probably make group stage, and that's that. Koi. Koi. Koi hasn't been crazy this season. And I don't think, you know, swapping a support just to see if the mood improves or see if they play better is really going to change anything. I could easily see them on B tier. You know, they'll probably qualify, probably out in groups. Nothing too exciting. Yeah, probably around 6, 7, 8, something like this. Unless we get a surprise and Adyen is the one that works out for them and they make it work in a bot lane. But yeah, Koi, bit disappointed. It also comes down to at what point of the season, of the split, sorry, does Larson wake up? You know, because it feels like Koi was starting performing better in spring when Larson decided to play the game. And when Larson is at top form, he's definitely top 2, top 3 mid laners. But yeah, it's he has to, I don't know, he has to wake up. He has to be present in the games. And I feel that with this new iteration of Rogue / Koi, I guess, hasn't been as dominant as last season. Moving to Mad Lions. Mad Lions is a bit of a weird one because they won spring, but at MSI they were rubbish. So many games they should have won, they completely fumbled. And I don't know what that means going into summer, but it feels like from watching LCK and LPL, we definitely have more Enchanters support coming in. And that doesn't really fit Hylissang's playstyle. Now, I feel like he's slightly improved compared to last season, but still. So, I mean, I still think they're gonna be solid, but I'll put them A tier for now. I'll put them A tier. SK I feel has kind of dropped in form towards the end of last split. Not too sure why, because at the beginning of the season they were definitely one of the top teams. They were super exciting to watch, and I feel like they've lost a bit of their mojo. They lost a bit of their groove. Yeah. I don't know. For me, it's between B tier and C tier. I might put them C tier. I don't know. I just have a weird feeling about this team. I feel like they've maxed out their potential, and they're kind of dropping behind now. BDS. BDS is a hard one to put. I don't know if I would put them S tier. I would have really liked for them to win spring just to see what they would do at MSI. But the fact they got reverse sweeped at spring, do they deserve to be S tier? just for their past performance. They do have a good bot lane. I'll put them A tier. Put them A tier for now. I would have probably put them S tier if they would have won Spring, but I don't know. When you fumble a 2-0 lead, I kind of question. Heretics. I think they don't move. They're still in C tier. They might qualify, but I feel like it's gonna come down to a tiebreaker again of who gets the final spot, who gets the 8th place. But yeah, maybe they place a bit higher, 6th, 7th, but I don't think the changes they've made are that crazy. Team Vitality. Now, Team Vitality might benefit from the changes in the bot lane. And that might push them to S tier because of that. Because Upset might be unleashed. Because Zeri is back. You're going to have Enchanters, which, you know, Kaiser can play. That might be the meta for them. So I'll put them S tier for now. And if they, you know, continue from the end of Spring Split where they ended 3rd, and it looked like they finally managed to play as a team and reach their potential, they could be very strong this season. Which I feel like I'm gonna be totally wrong, and they don't qualify the split, you know, like they end 9th or something. But you know, if it stays bot lane focused, surely this is Upset's opportunity to shine. Excel. Excel. I'm just gonna put them D tier. They're not cooking, dude. I don't think anything's gonna happen with Excel. Well, I mean, Abadage is decent, but I just, if you have Limit as your support, I don't know what you expect to do. It's crazy that they didn't try to change their support. I feel bad for Patrick, because Patrick can probably perform really well with this current meta, but he has Limit. I don't think Limit really plays Enchanters. I've only seen him like stuff like Alistar and Nautilus. Other than that, it's not great. So it's a bit of a weird one. But yeah, I think it fits. I think it's not too crazy of a tier list. Yeah. Due to Vitality, S tier, Fnatic, Mudlines. Yeah. I don't know what you guys think. Would you change anything here? Someone rated too high, rated too low? Have I overrated, underrated? You let me know, guys. Or even if you're watching on YouTube, drop a comment below, and you know, share your own tier list. How you think it's gonna end. But yeah, looking at the rankings, I'm not gonna lie, it's super hard to rate these teams, because I think like the top 5 is gonna be very close. I've put Fnatic 3rd because I think there might be a bit stage jitters for Noah in particular, so you know, it's not gonna be perfect, but he'll get there eventually. But yeah, I wasn't sure where to put BDS and Mudlines. I might switch them around. Maybe BDS goes top 3, but I think this top 5 in any order is about right. For the rest, yeah, Team Heretics Koi can basically swap So we're looking at G2 first, Vitality second, Fnatic third, Mad Lions fourth, BDS fifth, Astralis sixth, SK Gaming seventh, Team Heretics eighth, Koi ninth, and XL at the bottom. I feel like XL needs a massive change within their organization to get things rolling, because it's a bit messy. It's a bit messy, not gonna lie. These rumors we've heard about them, not great. But yeah, basically the teams that, in my opinion, have some of the best bot lanes should make it to top 5. Maybe Hexakick performs really well. Kobe, Hexakick, they're very good as well, so it makes sense to have them just trail behind. For the rest, not so much. It'll be an exciting one, nonetheless. I feel like it might be as close as it gets on this one. Now, talking about our boys. Going a bit more into detail this time, obviously. The hype is real, guys. The hype is very, very real. It's hard not to get excited for the upcoming split, because we've just been hearing a lot of positive things about scrims, about how the team gets on, about the new players coming in. And, I think, first of all, for those who, have had the chance or haven't had the chance to watch Noah stream, first of all, he's a very funny guy. Absolutely hilarious. He's super aggressive in his laning phase, and he is really close to the community. He takes time to tweet, stream, share stuff. He even played an ARAM with some of the people who were in chat. Just as a person, I think having Noah in the team is amazing in terms of branding, in terms of the mood of the team. Just like, this guy ticks all the boxes, in my opinion. So very happy to have him in the team. Super aggressive playstyle as well, so that's super fun. And by his side, we have Trimby. And I've read way too many people who were like underestimating Trimby because he's had a bad split. And again, when you change teams, your performance can be different. The synergy you bring, can fit the team you're joining. Like, there's a lot of factors that mean that the way you're performing before doesn't necessarily transition to the next team. And I think getting Trimby is absolutely crazy. For me, he's super smart player, very versatile, a great person to have by your side as well. If you've watched the old like Rogue videos and everything, he represents for me what is being a good teammate. Being there for your team, always trying to bring the mood up, not hesitating to be critical about things, but having an approach that is really constructive, basically. So I feel like with Noah, he's going to fit really well, because not only has he had the chance to play with Korean players before, but he gets to play with a rookie who is just a diamond in the rough, so there's everything to build around him. So a very aggressive, highly mechanical rookie, and you have this very smart player right next to him. I think it's a great combination here. So, things seems to be going really well within the team so far. Actually, something I wanted to share with you guys. Let's see how I can do this. Where did I put it? Where did I put it? Is this it? Oof. Let's see. Like that. And like that.
In my whole coaching career, I've like never experienced such a dominance. So I'm very hopeful and curious about how we do.
Great. And what about the atmosphere in the team?
The atmosphere in the team is pretty chill. Honestly, Trimby is really a nice guy. I should not say nice guy. I should say he's a good player, because saying nice guy is like a meme in esports. But he really brings, like this sort of like leadership role, and his mindset is actually like such a good mindset, like winner mindset. Whenever someone feels down, is tilting a bit or whatever, he always finds the right words to say and the intonation he uses. So he's big help in game. He's sort of like what we do, what we're trying to do as coaches to help the players out of the game. He is able to do that in game, so we have really good balance. And no, it's just funny, like every Korean who doesn't speak English well, they're just funny, So it's a good mix.
So a few words from our good man Nightshare here. If you want to catch more of these exclusive interviews, you should get your ass to the app, by the way. I unfortunately don't have any codes left. I would have given them to you if you're not part of the app, but Fnatic shares codes every single day, so make sure you get there. There's a lot of great content. You get to ask questions to the teams. You get to follow with the rest of the community. It's a very well made app. But just to go back to what Nightshare said, absolutely great feedback overall. And the fact that he feels that it's the first time for him where he feels this dominant, I think even goes beyond what we've been saying about, scrims are going well, scrims are going well. There's one thing about scrims going well, there's one thing about feeling you have complete control over everything that you're doing. Now, it's all about transitioning what's happening in scrims into, and onto the stage, obviously. And we've seen countless times where teams that were said to be super dominant in scrims then manage to transition that on stage, and there's a big question mark around all of them. But I think we can be really confident here in having a much better showing than spring. And how would I say this? Having more aggressive lanes, basically, because bot lane was a bit more difficult, and it made it a bit harder for the other lanes to then do something when there's one lane that consistently gets pushed in. So it feels like we've put up another like bastion in a lane where I feel like Razork is gonna have more opportunities to be aggressive and snowball the bot lane. So yeah, I think it's great news. The other part, in my opinion, is the fact that from what's being said, our level of scrims has improved, which was a big criticism back then, from our former staff and players, that scrim quality was really, really poor. So not too sure exactly what's changed in that degree, what Nightshare has brought in, or is it player mentality? Is it the teams? What elements have changed for the quality to improve? But if we're thinking about the long term here, if you're already managing to implement this quality of scrim culture here already for next season, we're gonna kind of, snowball this, continue to improve and implement more elements. And when I think about players like Trimby, obviously he's only on a one split contract, but if he decides to stay with Fnatic, having someone who's like so disciplined and willing to kind of assist and help in sort of coaching approach, as Nightshare said, with the team, I think he can also be like a big contribution into that improved scrim culture on the long term. So yeah, it's just, I don't know, for me there's so many exciting things about the team to look forward to. The hype, is just taking different levels every day. We had, what's his name, Humanoid, who tweeted as well, saying, Fnatic is back 100% at the top. Don't know if he's trolling or what, but it's still nice to read. The confidence from the players all around. We've had Razork tweeting, we've had Oscar. Yeah, also Oscar. I haven't talked about Oscar, but for me, it might also be a good sign that Oscar is playing even better. He had a difficult start at the beginning of spring, then improved afterwards. But yeah, the tower tweets looks like caca. I mean, I don't know. I mean, okay, so obviously, I don't think they haven't lost the tower, but I think there's still like some truth to it, in terms of their win rate and what they've been achieving. But yeah, I doubt as well that they're just perfect gaming their opponent, but there's also the fact that some teams will FF early and remake if the game snowballs early, unless they do a sort of no FF rule, because the problem with those type of games is that you'll have a very good early game, but it kind of hinders your late game afterwards. So I think it's an approach you kind of want to avoid to have, but yeah. Tier 2 maybe. I don't know. I don't really know. I can't remember who I was saying this to the other day. It's like, even I hope they're also winning games that might be close as well, because I think that's also a great asset to have, to play from behind. Because if you're always playing from ahead, you don't know how to play from behind, then the when you get from behind, that almost means an insta loss. But so, losing tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, in my opinion, what's most important about scrims is being able to, set up playstyles, set up synergies, and make sure that everyone's on the same page, that we make the right calls, and you create automatisms that make it that you almost don't have to think about what you're doing. You're just doing automatically. So you're creating these patterns, these sort of playstyle patterns within the team, that you just execute them almost mindlessly, I would say, which probably isn't a good word to say, for a strategy game, but yeah, you just don't think about it when you set up these plays, and it just goes very seemingly very smoothly throughout the game. So I think that's the most important part for these scrims, and the fact that we are winning them must mean that all these things that we set up gradually are working. So I just want to say a big congrats to Nightshare, Shays, the whole team behind setting up the scrims and improving this culture, creating what seems to be like an actual competitive team. And who knows, we might get a trophy at the end of the split. That's all we can hope for, really. That's the dream. But yeah, hopefully we start strong and we continue to progress throughout the regular split. That's all we can wish for, I'd say. But yeah, super excited. I don't know about you guys, but I'm looking forward to our first game tomorrow. It's gonna be a banger. With that said, let's move on to the predictions, guys. Predictions. Yeah, so the opener, Mad versus Vitality. Quite interesting. I thought the opener would always be like the finals, but I guess not. You guys went with Vitality. I went for Mad Lions. I guess I went for Mad Lions. I think I always favor teams that that come back from international stage. I don't know why, but yeah, but Vitality might come in crushing, so I might have shot myself in his foot. Team Heretics, SK, you guys are really rating Team Heretics this prediction. I still think SK is a stronger team, but I'm very curious to see Team Heretics. I'm very interested to see the reunion between Flacket and Yankos, and seeing what side of what's his name, of VTO we're gonna have. But I still think, still having Evi on the top lane, you're still kind of missing a proper piece of your new puzzle. Koi versus Excel, Koi, G2 BDS, G2, Fnatic Astralis. Fnatic Astralis, I think, is an interesting game. Going in. Because basically Astralis is where we just stopped. So Astralis is the new hurdle. And if we beat Astralis, then we'll have gone above this hurdle. That's kind of how I envision it, So I think it's actually a great opener, Fnatic Astralis. Last game of the day. The hype is back. On to the next day, Vitality SK, Vitality XL Fnatic. If there's any game to win this week, it's this one. I want Fnatic XL to be a crush fest. I want this game to be ended before 25 minutes. That's how much I want it. I just want Noah to end with 3 pentakills. Or maybe not, but I just want to breeze through this team. That's all. Mad versus G2. G2 super strong. Mad has no reason to win this game, unless it's a best of 1, but G2 has looked way stronger this MSI against Mad Lions. Mad Lions were pretty shocking this MSI. What was meant to be the first seed for Europe. No way, dude. No way. Koi versus BDS. BDS, yeah. Team Heretics Express. Again, you guys are going for Team Heretics. You guys must know something that I don't. Because that is, I don't know. For me, Australia is still better overall. But maybe you're right. Maybe there's a new version of Team Heretics here. Maybe. As for the last day, well, we're pretty much in agreement here. XL SK, we've gone for SK. BDS versus Astralis. BDS. Koi versus Mad Lions. Mad Lions. Fnatic G2. It wouldn't be inside Fnatic's brush without a Fnatic vote against G2. Vitality, Team Heretics. This time you guys didn't vote for Team Heretics, so I guess you're not, considering Team Heretics above Vitality, which is very normal, of course. But yeah, that kind of does it for our first episode of the Summer Split. Again, guys, thank you for joining me, being super interactive in the chat. I always like watching your messages, chatting with you guys. If you like the content, make sure to follow on Twitch and you can do all of it. And on all the socials for my personal Matska_ or at IFB Podcast to be notified from all the upcoming podcasts and any like Fnatic news, I always try to, relay them as much as possible for the VODs, and watch all previous episodes inside Fnatic's Brush on YouTube. And if you're more of a Spotify person, I'm on Spotify inside Fnatic's Brush. Check it there, subscribe, make sure to follow. We're almost at 100 subscribers on YouTube. We're getting there. We're also very close on on Twitch. I think we're around 81. So guys, appreciate your support every time. Make sure to click those buttons to follow if you enjoy the content. Give me all your feedback, always appreciated. Tomorrow starts weekend 1, Fnatic, new team, bangers coming up. For those who are Valorant watchers, maybe I'll catch you at 5 in the morning if you're that brave. But yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. Have a good weekend. Until then, always Fnatic. Bye bye.